He's got like a velvet growth. Quick update here on Nicole's hunt, and Nicole's down the ridge a little bit further looking over a different section of the basin. I've got a group of bedded bucks. There's one decent 4-point and a 2-point, and then there's one that's bedded behind a tree, and I'm just catching glimpses of him. I've been watching him for like probably 45 minutes now, just trying to figure out what he is. A couple glimpses, he looks pretty good, so I'm hoping he's a big buck. He's in a pretty good spot, but we'll just have to see. Anyways, that's the update for now. I've seen a handful of bucks this morning, and it's been good so far, so let's see what this buck is, and I'll let you know.
Skylar glassed up another buck we thought was, he thought it could be big. You could just see the base of his antlers, like right behind a tree. There was a big tree that he had bedded behind, so he sat here and watched him for 2 hours, and he finally just stood up, and he's just a little 4-point buck. But it was pretty exciting for a minute. So yeah, it's been a good day, and we're gonna keep after it. We've been hunting all day so far. It's probably 2 in the afternoon right now, and we've been non-stop all day. So we've only got 7 days to make this happen. We're gonna squeeze out every little bit of time that we have and try to make the most of it and turn up a big old giant buck. So wish us luck. All right, guys, we have ran into quite a large problem. Our side-by-side back end hydraulics went out. But as you can see, we have about 5 inches of clearance, and we are beating this thing up on the way out of here. On these rocks, this road is freaking nasty, and we're just beating this thing, but we have to get it out.
It is morning number 4 of Nicole's hunt. Seen a few bucks this morning, decent 4-point, and nothing we're after, but there's actually a little hidden basin up here that we've never looked into, and we're gonna hike up to it right now. It's late morning. See if we can turn up a bedded buck or something. So I'm just glassing, and I actually found a pretty good buck a long ways away. He's like a probably 24, 25 inch wide, typical looking thing with deep forks. Looks like he's got a big body, and the buck with him is hard-horned, and I can't tell what he is yet, but I think we're gonna go check those out and see if we can get closer and see what they are. They look pretty good.
So we split up this morning to glass different basins, and I was at my spot, and I see Skylar running down the road to me, and he waved me up, so we just got up here, and he found a big old shooter buck. Looks like he has an inline in his back fork, and looks like a really good solid buck, by far the best one we've seen this whole time. So we haven't seen him for probably 30 minutes. He kind of went into a patch of trees, a small patch, but we know right where he's at, so we're just gonna keep an eye on that patch of trees and try to get another look at him and probably make a move on him. We're gonna see if we can get some better video of this thing and see if we can hopefully get him killed later on. So I'll keep you posted. So we just got a second look at that buck. He fed back out. He's bedded in a bad spot right now, so we've been waiting him out all morning, but he just fed back out. I finally got a look at him. I've been giving Skylar crap all morning, saying he wasn't as big as he said he was, just giving him all sorts of crap, but Turns out he is as big as he said, and he's a freaking sweet buck. So I think we're gonna have to try to make a plan to kill this thing. Waiting for Skylar to get back. He went and moved around to try to get a different angle to see if he could find him from a different spot, but we're being super careful so he doesn't wind us, so we're just gonna wait and see what happens. So he's back, and he saw the buck too. Got some sweet video of him. We'll pop that up so you guys can check him out.
Yeah, I got like 150 yards from him for 10 minutes. It was pretty cool. Way closer than I thought I was gonna get.
He's a sweet buck, no doubt, but he's not a giant by any means. He's probably a mid-70s type buck at best. He has a lot of character. He's mature, and he's a sweet buck, but honestly, we're only halfway through this hunt. We have 5 more days. We have 4.5 if you count tonight. So we're at the halfway point of the hunt. We still have a lot of time. We've been seeing new bucks every day. Been sorting through a lot of bucks. Yeah, a lot of small bucks we've been sorting through. Average, they just don't have good genetics here. This unit, the top end is just missing off this unit for whatever reason. The genetics just aren't here. And we've been hunting hard. We scouted it for 4 days. We hunted it. How many days have we hunted now? 4.5?
Yep.
So, and then we also hunted it last year for 9 days and scouted for 3 days. So we've spent a lot of time on this unit, and we have not found good bucks here. We're gonna keep hunting hard, and I think we're gonna take a risk. I could go kill this buck tonight probably. He's gonna feed out into a good spot, and we'd probably make a move, get a solid buck, have a nice film for the YouTube channel, but deep down, I'm a big buck hunter. I love hunting big bucks.
No, we're not writing him off completely.
No, that's
we're
just
giving him a grace period of 2 days.
That's just not what we're about, though. I want to really give myself every chance to find the best buck on this unit. I want to find something next level, find something 185, 190 plus. We'll see what happens. We'll keep hunting and see what we find.
Kill the giants if you kill the good
No,
bucks.
I tell everyone, always asks me, like, how do you guys kill so many big bucks? And I'm like, you just have to pass the mediums, the ones that are right in the middle that are awesome but not huge bucks. That's the hardest thing ever. I've passed a lot of good bucks in my life. I really have. I regret some, but it's paid off for me. I've killed some of my biggest bucks right after passing something that's like mid-level. So I'll probably keep doing that. I'll probably keep doing that same thing the rest of my days of hunting.
Also,
and
I'm looking for a new hunting partner that will shoot
yeah,
these good bucks. So,
but
applications here.
so we're gonna keep going. I want to find something bigger. I really do. This buck's cool, but I don't know. We're gonna keep looking.
So we actually got a buck here we recognized from our summer scouting trip. He's super cool, super pretty. Got a little extra on his right side. He's kind of far out right now, hard to see, but really cool buck. He does still look really heavy on his bases anyways.
I really think he'll feed right to us. I think we can get on this little knob.
You think he'll come out, keep working this way?
Yeah, I think they're gonna work this way and then drop
He's
down.
kind of working up the mountain now. He's a sweet buck. He really is.
Alright guys, I think it's game on. We just barely found one of the bucks we were really interested in this summer, and he was gorgeous in the velvet. I'm bummed that he rubbed his velvet off because he was so pretty in the velvet, but he's a freaking solid buck. We saw him last year and he was solid. Saw him this year and he's a little bit better. He's old, mature, and by far the best buck we've seen. Him and Norbist. Skylar named that other buck we found with the inline in his back fork Norbist. We saw him this morning too.
Because he's got a turkey foot.
He has a turkey foot, and that's the turkey meat brand, I guess. I don't know. I think we're going to ease down there and see if we can get close and take a closer look and maybe put the old Gunworks to work on this sucker and see if we can get him down right here. Well, that one didn't work out. We got up to that little knob we talked about, and they were nowhere to be seen. We figured they were gonna be feeding right on the other side of that, but they weren't, so we kept going, just kind of still hunting. We were just easing our way along, and we went another 100, 200 yards, quick shot if we needed to, and sure enough, we freaking jumped him at like 20 yards, and he didn't give us any chance to pull up and shoot. He just jumped up, spun, and ran through the thick timber. It was super, super thick. We didn't expect him to be where he ended up, and he took off down through the timber, which is a bummer, but we're gonna go regroup and probably get back up on our glassing point and see if we can turn him back up. We ran into yet another side-by-side issue. The four-wheel drive is out.
The shocks on the back end broke the other day.
Shocks on the back end broke, which we got fixed that same day. Had to cost us basically that whole night hunt, but here we are now. Skylar picked us up a nice tire repair kit, so we're gonna pull this thing out. Okay, ready?
Oh, we're in now. Quarter turn. Remove.
Alright, check that thing out.
Thing's beastly.
So we saw a group of bucks this morning just below where we made our stalk yesterday, and we assumed that he was in the group, but right when we saw him, they kind of tucked down into the thick timber. We barely got a look at 3 of the bucks, and just tonight we're getting up to our glassing point, and these 3 bucks have moved.
4 bucks now.
4 bucks. They've moved their way down, and they're the same bucks we saw this morning. We haven't seen him yet, but he could pop out at any second. And they're moving like fairly early right now, and have worked down the hill. We're gonna just watch this group and see if he pops out, and if he does, we're gonna make a mad dash to the bottom and see if we can kill this thing. Alright guys, sure enough, he was with that group of bucks, and he just fed out. It's super like last light. We don't know if we're gonna be able to make it up in time, down to him in time. He's kind of in a tricky spot right there, and we would literally be creeping up on him at last light. Do we have any play like right where he's at?
Oh yeah, you could sneak through the edge of that timber right below him, because the wind's gonna be going down now.
Yeah.
And he's in a great spot. It's just we're out of time.
So sure enough, that's our buck. We just glassed him up 25 minutes before legal shooting light's over. Unfortunately, we just don't have enough time to get to him right now and make a safe move. Where he's at right now, he's going to be in a really good spot in the morning, most likely. So we're gonna be patient, play it safe right now, and hopefully we have a setup in the morning.
We think we have the group of bucks spotted already. So we're gonna check it out.
How many can you see?
6. I see him.
Yeah.
He's right in the middle.
How does he look?
He's got his head down. He looks good though. The other bucks are just sparring. He's feeding.
Can we throw up the phone scope?
Yeah.
This is how we get our best wildlife footage.
Just like that. I'm already recording it. I haven't zoomed in yet, but gotta focus. He's a stud. Look at this, look at him. You can see him pretty good right there, but he's a sweet buck.
Alright, we just picked up that buck. He was right where we thought he'd be this morning. He's above timberline right now, which is really good, and they're in a good spot. It's gonna be a very similar stalk to what we did the first time. There's a line of meadow that they're gonna feed down, most likely. We want to get set up right there, nice and close. 100-yard shot is the goal, or closer. So we're gonna hustle right now. It's first light. The wind is good, so we're gonna get set up right below them and try to make this thing happen quick before they get down into the timber. We just got back up to our glassing point. Our side-by-side is giving us some serious issues. We've had all sorts of trouble with it on this trip. Check engine lights on and it almost wouldn't start down there, so we just barely left it running to be safe. But it's being real sketchy, so we're being careful. But anyways, basically what happened, we found those bucks at first light, put a stalk on them, got real close. I ended up getting probably 80 yards away from all of them. I could have shot 3 of the bucks. They fed down into an opening. I got all set up, was ready to go, had my boots off, was in my socks, my pack was off, I was in like full stealth mode, and I was ready to go. But the first buck that crossed through I thought was him originally, and I'm not sure if it was. I don't know if it was quite big enough, but I had my sights on him. I could have shot all 3 of the bucks. I was set up on him and was just hoping that the big buck would just follow him right behind him and I would have dumped him right there at like 80 yards. But it just didn't work out. We were close. In that group of 7, I could have killed 3 of those bucks. We just were a little bit too late again, just a few minutes, 5-10 minutes too late. We're freaking at crunch time though. It's the second to last day of the hunt. We need to catch a break. We've ran into all sorts of bad luck this month on all of our hunts so far, so we need to catch a lucky break and freaking make this thing happen. Alright, this is it. Skylar just dropped me off. I'm headed up here on a little knob. It's right on the edge of the trees where they've been at, so I'm gonna get set up here. He's headed to the glassing point. Hopefully he can find him and flag me into him, and we can get this done. We have some storm clouds right now rolling in, a little bit of rain, so deer are gonna be standing up real soon. Tonight's the night, I can feel it. Let's make this happen. Alright, I'm set up and have my little poncho. I didn't want to put on my rain gear, and I actually just barely found this thing in the glove box of our side-by-side, so I'm pretty stoked. I've got the gun. Forgot my balloon, so we used the rubber glove, blocking that from getting any moisture down into the barrel. This little shower looks like it's gonna pass pretty soon, but this is gonna be enough to get these deer up on their feet. I'm set up, looking over the flats. My wind is good, and I'm ready to kill a big buck. Let's freaking get this done. Well, it is now 6:30. I've been waiting here for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and nothing so far. I've just been sitting here passing the time reading a book on my phone, actually a business book. I have something coming later. Gonna be launching an Airbnb YouTube channel and a course later on teaching people how to get started in Airbnb. We've actually been running some Airbnbs for about 4 years now, and we're gonna be teaching people how to do the same thing. That is how we're able to hunt so much. One of the reasons that in our Pomsky breeding business, we have designer dogs that we breed as well. So we're quite the entrepreneurs and preach the entrepreneur lifestyle, basically. It's just something that's super meaningful to me. I grew up, my dad was a taxidermist, so we got to see him a lot. He was right next to our house all the time. We got to grow up with him around, which was really cool. He basically made his own schedule. I got to see that growing up, so I think I'm kind of just used to that, and that's kind of the life we're trying to lead right now. We've been hunting more than we ever have. I mean, we'll be out here all of September in Colorado, and half the month of October in New Mexico, and all of the month hunting Utah of August. So this fall's just been nuts. I've never hunted this much before, and I couldn't do it if I wouldn't have decided to become an entrepreneur and start up businesses and take that road rather than the college lifestyle. I actually dropped out of college. I was a straight A student my whole life. From elementary school clear through high school. Senior year, I graduated as the valedictorian of my class. Straight A's, 4.0, full ride scholarship to college. And I went to college for a year, hated it, didn't think it was for me, left. But now, 5-6 years later, it's the best thing I ever did. I've learned so much. and I want to help other people do the same thing. We're still learning as well. I'm still on this path of entrepreneurship and business, but I love it. It's my passion next to hunting. I freaking love this stuff. Anyways, back to the hunt.
Looks like we might be fogged in. Hopefully not though. It's the last morning, so we'll see what happens.
We got all set up and there's a herd of elk right where they were at yesterday morning, which basically screwed up any chances of them being there. So Skylar dropped me off and been glassing, and he's been glassing for about 20 minutes, haven't turned anything up. So our morning is probably shot, unfortunately, so things aren't looking good for the old last day. We're gonna go back and look for that buck we call Norbist with the inline in his back fork. But take a look at this. Alright guys, it's the last night. We spent all day covering miles, so we've been absolutely just giving it our all today and trying to turn something up, and just haven't had any luck. Not a lot of movement today. We've seen some smaller bucks and haven't glassed anything up long range. Things just aren't moving around much, so that storm kind of screwed us up, and it's basically a full moon, so yeah, it's been tough. So I'm set back up in my flat. We're banking everything on this big buck we've been hunting the last few days. It's all or nothing with him. We figure this is our best chance. A lot of the other places, if we were to find a good buck, it would take us hours to get in on a stalk. Right here, I can get in on him within 20 minutes. So Skylar's perched up on the glassing point. I'm in position, and now I just need like some crazy luck to make this happen. It's bottom of the ninth, and things aren't looking good at this point, but you never know. There's definitely a chance he could come out. He's been out 2 of the last 4 nights, I would say. So it's possible. We didn't find him this morning though. There is a chance he'll feed out before dark. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Wish us luck, and hopefully we'll make this thing happen.